Jason, I'll turn over to you. Just wondering where you're located. I know you had said you had started as a grounds person, was promoted to a supervisor within 6 months in the industry. So just wanted to see how you achieved those great strides in such a short time. As the second part of that question, I did see one of a post on your LinkedIn account. You mentioned the challenges of maintaining your NOI while trying to put your residents first. Wanted to see what those where you're located, how you became a supervisor in such a short time, and your challenges in maintaining your NOI.
I am based out of Midland, Odessa, Texas, Permian Basin. We're basically known for producing most of the oil in America, other than if you go up north of Montana. We are almost, without the oil, this entire area would not exist. Realistically, there's nothing here but oil and places for people to live. And I did the oil field most of my life. It is, I salute everyone who does that for a full time. I did it for quite a while. I got married and I wanted to be around my wife a little bit more. And when you work in the oil field, you are working more than you ever have in your entire life. You're going to work insane amount of hours. And if you're one of those guys that can handle it, you're better than me. It takes a very strong individual to consistently work. My journey to a supervisor was honestly a mix of spite and dumb luck, to be completely honest. And there's a lot of hard work. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I didn't work hard for it. But I started as a groundskeeper. Within the first week, the maintenance supervisor there got fired. And it was literally just me at a property by myself. Work orders started piling up. And of course, they were like, well, you think you could do any of this? I have hand tools. I've worked a little bit on cars. I had some basic common sense. And so I just started doing them, and I consistently kept doing things. And I tore up a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie. I definitely tore some stuff up in the beginning. I did not know what I was doing, and I had no one to guide me other than YouTube, to be completely honest. And over the time, I got a little bit better. I got a few more tools, and they just couldn't keep hiring anybody. And we had a sister property that was a Class C sister property, and they were in desperate need for a technician. So they offered me a promotion to a tech if I went over there. Now, everybody did warn me. They're like, hey, it's a Class C property. You're going from a Class A to a Class C. You're not going to like it. And I'm like, I didn't know what the difference was. I'm like, it's an apartment. It'll be fine. It can't be that bad. It was that bad. My first day, I had over 350 service requests. They hadn't had any maintenance in about 4 months or so. It was rough. Had been contracting every single make ready out with a contracting company, and it was tough. It was an honestly absolute nightmare, but it was a nightmare that taught me everything I knew. Within such a short amount of time, I had done just about everything on a daily basis. I mean, you name it, I was there doing it. It was a new, unique challenge every day. I tell everybody now, if you want to become a good supervisor, go to Class C, and that will cut your teeth, and that will show you everything. Class A is fantastic in its own right, but Class C, I heavily suggest everybody needs to spend time in Class C property. It's going to teach you a whole different skill set. I did that for just a few short months. We got EPA. They had hired one other guy. They still couldn't find a supervisor, so it was just me and one other tech. We got our EPA certification. We got a CPO. And honestly, we thought we were going to get paid a little bit more. And we were making considerably less than the industry standard for what we were doing. So we thought we were going to make a little bit more cash. And we got into a conversation with an upper who basically told us, don't expect that to happen. Understandably, we were upset. We have been busting our hump for months. We wanted something more. So we rage applied. I got on Indeed on my phone, and I saw a job listing for a maintenance tech. I just hit quick apply. About a day later, I get a call. Hi, this is so-and-so from this company. I see you're interested in our maintenance supervisor position. And my heart dropped. All I saw was maintenance tech. It was maintenance tech supervisor. And I was like, yeah. Of course. I set up the interview, and I told my wife, I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I don't have the skills. I don't know what I'm doing enough. And one thing she told me that I'll never forgot is you do not let somebody else judge them. You let them decide if you have the skill set or not. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. So I went to the interview, and I realized I had all the skill sets they were wanting. I knew HVAC. I knew plumbing. I knew electrical. I learned it all in such a short time, because I had so much just insane, crazy stuff happen at this older property. So I let them decide, and they hired me. One thing I will say is I don't think I'm really still. That first jump to managing people is 10 times harder than actually doing any of the job. think managing people is the most difficult aspect, period. That was kind of how I ended up as a supervisor, and I've been one ever since. We're pushing on year 4 now. When I started as a groundskeeper, I was able to connect with the residents on their complaints because, I'm just a groundskeeper, it's, they're just doing whatever they're doing in the office, I'm not part of them. And then I realized friendlier with the residents than I should have when it came to that. And I would want to just give them whatever they want because, we're basically friends. That's not the reality of the situation. Every time I got a bump up in my career, I realized that we don't necessarily work for the residents. We work for a client. If you're working for a third party property, we're working for a client. We want to provide them with the best possible service, but we are looking at our client, and it's hard to balance that because you're balancing it with your career, but you also everybody's got a big old heart down deep inside. That's a hard thing to balance. It really is, and I don't have a perfect answer to that.